After 8 years of dominating over their competitors, Mercedes looked like mere mortals during the 2022 season, where they were only able to win one race all season. A stark contrast to where they were the season before. Their struggles were mainly due to how inefficient their W13 was, which cost both Lewis Hamilton and George Russell valuable milliseconds against their competitors. But with the 2023 season just over the horizon, the Brackley-based team is set to make grand changes to their 2023 Challenger. And as to what they exactly are, well, you've come to the right place to find out. Red Bull and Ferrari were quick right off the bat in 2022, but Mercedes had a tough time adjusting to the new technical regulations and were dealing with problems with their W13 car porpoising for a big chunk of the season. When team boss Toto Wolff was asked about whether the team has solved their bouncing issues, Toto would say on F1's Beyond the Grid podcast, "We believe that we solved the underlying problem of the bouncing, but not all that could have been done on the 2022 car. So, we believe that it is going to be easier next year, 2023. We are changing some of the architecture and the layout of the car that should point us in the right direction. But as it is with these new regulations, sometimes you uncover one problem and then you realize there was another underneath. So we have to be humble and not feel a sense of entitlement that we're gonna get back into this championship and win straight from the get-go. So, I'm really looking forward to it." While Toto's statement sounded like Mercedes is finally over the hurdle, the team's head of motorsport strategy, James Vowles, who is leaving the team in February for Williams, would admit on the team's YouTube channel that they don't know everything about the W13, but they've made some good progress they can carry into 2023. But one thing is certain for us, and that is that you should consider subscribing to the channel if you've been enjoying the video thus far. Now, back to what James had to say about the team's chances in 2023. "I don't think you can truly now or even across the winter state that we know everything about the W13, admitted Vowles. "We clearly, across the year, every time we learned something, discovered a whole series of new items that really we had to learn, understand, and develop very quickly. If you look at the direction moving forward, the gaps to the front, especially on race pace, we made huge amounts of progress. And you only do that by understanding where your problems are, working on them, and working as a team." He added, "Is it enough to win next year? Which is really where that question goes. The confidence we have is that we now have our tools, our wind tunnel tools, our development tools, our performance tools here in the organization, producing performance which is more than our competitors. It is allowing us to move further forward relative to them." But as mentioned earlier in the intro, the W13 wasn't a complete failure, as it still was able to win a race in Brazil in dominating fashion, still scored a pole, and through all the bouncing was able to hobble to 17 podium finishes. And to many fans' surprise, it was George Russell who was the leading man at Mercedes this past season. While he was able to clinch his first win in F1, it is safe to say that George was expecting more out of the team when he signed on the dotted line. And Lewis Hamilton was probably even more frustrated. The 7-time champ had never gone through a whole F1 season without winning at least once. But that changed last year. Elliott, the technical director, is working on giving the Brits a better car for the upcoming season. When asked about the progress, he didn't want to get anyone's hopes up and gave a not-so-exciting update. "I think the interesting thing is how we moved forward from here," he said in an official season review video released by Mercedes. "I think we've got to maintain that skepticism and be honest with ourselves that we were behind at the end of the year. And while I think that we've made good progress through the year, and I am really pleased with the culture I have seen and the attitude, we will only see the return on that next year. Time will only tell if the 2023 car stacks up against the competition. We'll find out during preseason testing in February." Mercedes says the W14 will be different from the last one and has a new DNA, giving fans hope for improvement. In the same video, Toto would promise the fans, What we can promise is that all of us here in the two factories, with the support of Germany, we're going to push flat out to have the best possible result, and the same kind of scrutiny on our performance will help us going forward as human beings, as managers, and also as a team. Another headache team boss Toto Wolff has to deal with is Lewis Hamilton's pending contract extension with the team. While we have reported numerous times now on this channel that an extension is more than likely to be signed before race day in Bahrain, Lewis has recently revealed his plans post-Formula 1, whenever that is for him. The Mercedes dude said quitting F1 would leave a big emptiness, but he's finding new things to get his adrenaline fix. The 7-time champ also thinks his impact off the track might mean more to him than his victories on it. He told the Jay Shetty podcast, "When I do stop, there will be a big hole. So I'm trying to generally find things that will replace that are also going to be just as rewarding. That's Mission 44, offering grants to youngsters from disadvantaged backgrounds, meeting kids in schools, having these conversations with families and parents who are clearly going through difficult times and want to create the best opportunity for their kids. Encourage them. It's okay. I've been there too. Look where I got, so you can get there." For me, that's way more rewarding than winning a race. So much more. While Hamilton is currently seeking a contract extension, the 7-time world champion would say that he is actively working on things in the background as he continues to race in F1 to make sure he does not get bored when he finally calls it quits. Hamilton added, "When I've spoken to other athletes, we've focused so much on being the best you can be in that one thing. The other things you love, playing an instrument, writing scripts, they all fall away. How can you compartmentalize staying in the zone and the focus lane and also building up some of those other skills and discovering other passions? We've heard people tell LeBron to shut up and dribble. A lot of people put you in the box and say you can only do one thing. But as I've spoken to some people who are active and retired, particularly when they retire, everything kind of fell apart. Everything fell to the ground and they had nothing to back it up with, and they hadn't discovered what they were doing next. So they go through this journey of discovery, but it takes time. So I'm trying to learn from those things and apply them and find the other things I'm passionate about. I generally feel today I have lots of things in the pipeline that when I do stop, it's going to be so grateful that I have something better to go on to. But I have no doubts. Me and my dad will always have to go to the karting track. I'm always going to be competitive. That's literally a strain in my DNA that is never going to shift." And there you have it, guys. So, will the 2023 season be another disappointment for the Silver Arrows? Let us know in the comments section below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't.